What's Trump been up to with Putin?
Well, so where's the Ukraine conflict at? Here we are. Let's bring the man himself up on screen. There is the President of the United States. And basically the message to Putin is 50 days or else. He's giving him a 50-day ultimatum. Trump loves issuing these ultimatums. 60 days here, 50 days there, 30 days there. So the last time Trump issued an ultimatum, it was to the Iranians, and it was 60 days. 60 days. And what happened on the 61st day during intense final negotiations? A sneak attack backed by the United States, by the Israelis against Iran, followed by an attack against Iran's civilian nuclear power centers and bases. So what can Russia expect after 50 days? Are they planning another Operation Spider's Web? I'm going to bet you 110%. That's what this is. So there's going to be some kind of a fancy sneak attack to re-up Zelensky's mandate as a dictator, keep the money flowing and new weapons. And guess what that means for defense stocks in Europe, Mike?
Through the roof.
Through the roof, and the United States as well. Those companies doing very well from this open-ended war. The only problem is, Mike, Ukraine doesn't have an infinite number of soldiers. This is where the West is having some teething issues. They don't know what to do. So Zelensky has announced they're thinking about, if they haven't already, possibly conscripting women. Okay, so that's new. And Sweden, getting into the spirit of NATO, they've decided they're going to raise the conscription level for men to the age of, wait for it, 70 years old. They want to get more experienced officers. So that's the payoff for joining NATO for Sweden and Finland. And I mean, we could go on and on. So look, Trump doesn't have any negotiations. There's no deal there. This is going to be chalked up as another failure for Donald Trump. Meanwhile, they're struggling to get Patriot missile batteries to the Ukrainians, but Russia has moved into the air war phase. And this is Russia's forte. I predict, Mike, if we're into the air war phase, you might see an abrupt halt to this conflict in the not so near future. That is my hunch. That's our hope. I'm sure many Ukrainians would like to see that happen as well.
Okay, and where does that take us then?
Well, on that subject, sorry, we forgot to show this really excellent op-ed here. And again, we're showing you a banned article. If you're in Britain, you're not allowed to read RT.com. So we thought we'd put this screenshot, this dangerous op-ed here, which was written by Vitaly Rimshin. And it says Trump's ultimatum isn't an ultimatum and Moscow knows it. In other words, Moscow doesn't really care what Trump says. They know that he has lost the plot. They're just going to move on with their objectives and aims.
Okay, and let's just bring us up to date with Syria.
Well, you saw what happened earlier this week, Mike. In Israel, dropped a few bombs on Damascus against Jolani. A surprise for everybody because Jolani just had been previously basically pledging his, admiration, loyalty to the state of Israel, wanting to normalize relations. So without going into the details of this very complicated story, what you're seeing there is a lot of staged theater, okay? But this is an important piece of information that everybody needs to understand. This is a great analysis here, and I want to thank Freddie Ponton for supplying this to 21st Century Wire. David's Corridor, Israel's foothold in the heart of the Arab world. Now, this is a very good breakdown if you are confused and you don't know exactly what's happening here and why it's happening. Check out this article. This is a great piece of analysis here. And as you can see, David's Corridor is that strip of southern Syria that's going to connect the Golan Heights, which are occupied by Israel, all the way up to through the Druze-held areas and into the Kurdish-held areas of northeastern Syria, with a straight shot into Iraqi Kurdistan and right at Iran's border here. And a great piece of analysis here. And there's a tweet embedded in this that people should pay attention to by a Middle Eastern analyst named Ibrahim Majid. And let's take a look at that. Let's take a closer look at that tweet. And that's the image there. That is David's Corridor. You see the blue part. We'll bring a label there. That's David's Corridor. Strategically, what you're looking at here is a new Sykes-Picot agreement right in front of our eyes. But the difference between this Sykes-Picot and the last one is the borders of this are going to be drawn in blood. The U.S. and Israel and Britain and France, the allies of those two countries, they want to redraw the map of the Middle East. And so you're looking at a sectarian bloodbath that is about to kick off. It has already kicked off in Syria as well as Lebanon, and the next will be Iraq. And this is right here, this is what it's all about. We'll bring this on screen. It's about preparing the region for the Greater Israel Project. Now, that's not going to be occupied by Israelis, but in that red zone, client states, totally subservient to the United States and Israel. And that's what the Greater Israel Project amounts to. And as you can see, it extends quite a bit. So people need to understand that's a reality. Go to that article at 21st Century Wire, watch it, read it, and you'll get a lot of answers.
Okay, thank you for that.